Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. This is the update that I promised you with Uranus-Mars constellation. And I'm delayed. I had to go and get the new camera because my camera collapsed. So I hope this works out. It's still kind of a bit strange feeling right now. So this was my Mars Uranus surprise yesterday. It's kind of really interesting what is happening right now. So I have made the chart for 3 different places, and now we can start with London. London is the 0-degree meridian, and it's kind of usually the chart I use for the world horoscope. And we can see that here we have Uranus and Mars, and the node, don't forget, it's also the node, very important here, is in 9th house. Now, this happened in Aries. You can see in the Western tropical astrology that is in Taurus, that will be a complete different meaning. So it's really not comparable. And then we have the moon in Leo in the 1st house. So this is a huge, massive energy impulse. You know, Mars, okay, one aspect of Mars, and I'm sure a very important one, is the Lord of War. And this is about energy. But this is also a very different archetype involved here, depending on what consciousness level we are. If we are on a lower consciousness level of conflict, it is all about war. But if you're on a higher level of light, of more peace and loving understanding, it is the bringer of the light. Now, when we look at creation story, the first thing that was the light. And when we have Mars, you can also see, you know, in the Olympic Games, they have this, the guy who runs with the torch. This is more or less another symbol that is very important here. And when we have Mars and we look at it in the 9th house here, 9th house as religion, religio, which is the breaking through point of horizontal mental thinking, moving into a spiritual context. So it could have the impact here with node to humanity, that a huge breakthrough of consciousness can happen to humanity, that there's suddenly a lot of people start to realize what happened, which is absolutely supported to the moon in Leo. And Leo as the king is also giving us the indication that we start to take over our own responsibility, meaning that we don't blame for everything all the others. That's what the masses are doing. If something goes wrong, they always blame somebody else. But if you look at it, when now the soul is kind of better connected to the ego, we can say that this, you know, the soul and the ego generally are disconnected in the lower consciousness. And now the higher the consciousness get, the soul and the ego personality are coming together, because we need a personality, otherwise we cannot function here. So what is happening here is that the approach from a higher spiritual breakthrough, from the bringer of the light, is like, you know, when I have one candle, I can light another 100 candles without losing my flame. You know, giving away, usually when I have water or I have soil or whatever it is, if I give away, I have less and less and less. But not if I have a flame. It gets more and more and more and more, the more other candles I light, the more flames are there. And this is what I can see in this constellation, which is very hopeful. And then the MC in Taurus is like that this will now manifest, and the ruler Venus is here in the 11th house, just in Gemini, is the communication. And the 11th house again is connected with Uranus Aquarius. So there is a breakthrough into a higher consciousness for those who have already moved beyond the fear point. Those who are still in the fear point, they probably completely reject it. And I think you can see a lot of it, who is moving on and who is not. those who still wear the mask, they are still in a consciousness of fear, and they have lost their face. And it just happened to me actually yesterday. I had another problem with my car also about the electronics. It's really funny. So they show me in many ways the energies here. So I went to the garage, and of course, when I went to the garage, everything functioned perfect. And that's the first time I really saw the guy without the mask. I have never imagined him to look like that. Before, he always was wearing a mask, and I see just that part of the face. So it's quite amazing how, especially in Asia, we have talked about losing face, how people really lose face with wearing this mask. So you can see those who are now able to step forward, to go into a higher consciousness, to let go of the fear. They will have much more power. And I could imagine that here, the two orange lines that we have and the small one here, the karmic aspects with Mercury in 12th house and Saturn retrograde in 6th, that a lot of people still have to do a lot of work till they come to a higher consciousness. And I'm not completely sure if they will have a chance to do it on this planet. When you listen a bit closer to the information that are coming out, and this is devastating what I heard, that from the women who had the shot, I heard one number that 70% lost their babies. So this is quite devastating. But on the other hand, I think in that time of the ascension of the planet, it has to be a purge, and otherwise it cannot work. And all those other souls, they have to move on in a different dimension. Now, what we talked about timelines, they go on a different timeline. So with Mercury still in 12th house, a lot of people still don't completely understand. The Mercury represents the personality. So we still don't really understand what is happening. And it is not possible because of most information are still hidden. Now, the Sun in Cancer, it's like, it is more easy to rely on your feelings. Like, rely on your feelings, rely on kinesiology when you go somewhere, and don't really listen to the mental programming, because our program has to completely be deleted, because practically everything what we have done in our life, the whole education, everything has trained us to be something who we are not. So we have to go back to become a natural human being. That's the idea for the whole world. And now let me go. No, that's wrong. Sorry, I have to go here. I have made it for the USA, and I have used about the center. I used Omaha, Nebraska. So you can see in this area, the Sun has moved into 4th house. So there is a lot about family. And we have the Mars-Uranus conjunction exactly on the AC. So this impact in the US will be much more into the realm of the family. And when you look at also what is happening there now with burning of food plants and so on, that happen in other places too, but there is like a lot of people are still connected within the family with this kind of business. So you can see here the Sagittarius here, that breakthrough, people have to start to flock together and to understand that they have to change their way of life. Generally, the Western hemisphere, it's in the Eastern too, but not that extremely. People have become very egoistic. I was looking at a few pictures from 1800 something, very beautiful pictures. And you know what really was very significant? I have not seen in all these pictures one obese person. Now, see, the downfall of the Western world is the food, the shopping, the consumerism. And, you know, even if you have gym, but that's not the really helping to have a healthy life, to go in the gym and do some exercise. Healthy life is different. The healthy life is if we move, and if we also, it's connected with mental and physical activities, mental, emotional, physical. And a lot of that is blocked because most people sit in front of the TV and let themselves be programmed by what they give you as an ideal what should be. So it is really crucial for the people to wake up, is to let go of that. Damn it, turn off your TVs. Turn off the media whenever you can. I have also, even I still work on the computer, I watch some videos, but then I turn them off. And I'm not going back in the evening to watch another movie. If I want to, I go and read a book, or if you have an opportunity, go walking, go hiking, go along the beach or in a forest, get together, gather together, and move into a different way of life. Not just close your door and sit in front of the TV. Move the chat rooms out in the community places. Be together with others. Learn to listen again to what they have to say, and also say what you have to say. So this is that awakening process which is very personal. Now, we have seen the world horoscope before. This is the general topic of the world. We have also, that was in 9th house, Sagittarius. Here also 9th house is Sagittarius, and the goal to get there. But that you get there, you have to move on. And here now the moon in 5th house is you have to take back responsibility for everything you are doing. Mercury, you have to be responsible for your words, for your actions, for everything. And remind yourself always, how I shout in the forest, it'll come back. And our deeds are not just one-fold. What you give comes back multifold. I don't know how many fold, but it comes back bigger than it goes out. Yeah, Venus here in Gemini. I see the communication, Venus, Gemini is also like you really have to start to reconnect with people, and not just through the internet or through any social media, whatever. Really physically, you have to touch and connect with other people again. Now I have one for, what is the London, Bangkok, I have made Asia, yeah. And here in Asia, we have it on the 6th house, the conjunction. And the 6th house is work and illness. And I can see here, especially here, I just had the workers coming in and they all were wearing a mask. And I told them they can take off the mask. We don't have any problem here. A couple did and a couple did not. They still hide their face, and you can see how much they are in fear. And I can see also here in this area, we have many more young souls than in Europe and in America. And it is much more difficult to free somebody to be an individual, because here it is a lot of energy of the masses, you know, it's like that hive mind that you can also see. Like, for example, I was very surprised when I still was living in Europe and Asian people came to visit. They always came in big masses. I have hardly ever seen individual Asians traveling. That has changed a bit, but still there are not many. So you can see that this is the paradigm from here. And then the sun is in 8th house and Mercury. And this is, you know, the transformation, the Scorpion, they have to go deep into the suffering first that they can wake up. So I can imagine that a lot of people here will, through the mask, and I saw that one lady yesterday, you know, the whole face was full of acne, and you really can see the pus coming out. So this is part of the process that they probably have to go to get sick first, which also shows here the AC of Scorpion, that they have to dive into that dying, being reborn process first. So I think the most difficult part that we have seen how the Asians have it, because their consciousness level, when you look at it, is generally quite low. We have in Asia people with very high consciousness level to balance the whole thing, but this is maybe 1%. And in the West and in America, it's more. It's not, maybe we can say maybe 10% to 90, and here is maybe 1 to 99. And so there is a lot more work for those who are awake and to hold the light, to be here. It's more difficult for them here. So I just wanted to give you a short update and maybe help you to understand a little bit better what's going on with this Uranus, and not being just in the cliche of the Western astrology and even the Vedic astrology, which is just, these are the bad guys, these are the good guys. And there is much more to it. And I really have experienced constellation with Mars different, but that is all about worldwide. Be careful. It is an accident constellation. So if you are at the wrong place at the wrong time, it might clash. So it is, I would recommend, if you don't have to travel for, stay, but do something that activates your energy, because Mars is energy, remember? So go swimming, go running, go whatever, do some sports, because that helps to balance the energies. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit to understand better what's going on. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And I see you next time when I have news for you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.